Hey there gamers, DreamcastGuy here. Today we're talking about PlayStation because Sony just got caught doing something that is technically legal, but is very scummy, very scammy, and very manipulative, which is basically there's been a months-long investigation for a thing called dynamic pricing. They have discovered that the price that you're paying for games is literally being automatically tailored to get you to spend the most pennies possible. That basically, PlayStation is literally scanning your spending habits to see exactly how much you're willing to pay. And I want to talk about this because a lot of people have discovered that some cases, the price discounts are ridiculous. Like, it's so bizarre that this is technically legal, but it is. Let's take a look at the investigation and why people are saying this is why physical can never die. But let's break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day. If you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now, this was actually first discovered by a website called PlayStation Deals because what they decided to do is that they basically have hundreds of PlayStation accounts all over the world and they're constantly just pinging the store and seeing, okay, how much is this game discounted? Which games are the best sellers? Which games have like a stacking discount where if you have like PlayStation Plus Premium, does that make the game like much cheaper? And they started to notice a weird, peculiar data set where basically sometimes some of the accounts that spent less money or maybe had less like transactional data, the games were getting cheaper and cheaper, whereas the games that were buying games, like the accounts that did buy brand new AAA stuff, the prices were going up. It essentially thought, okay, we can milk you for even more because it seems like you can afford to kind of get ripped off. Sony's PlayStation Store has been testing dynamic pricing on games, varying prices displayed for the same product to same people. So A/B testing was done on about 139 games in 68 different regions with price differences between 5% to about 18%. Now, for the most part, a lot of this testing showed the prices were actually scaling down more than they were scaling up. But a lot of the fear about dynamic pricing is that it can go up. A lot of other companies that do dynamic pricing, it usually just jacks the cost up so much. Think about something like Uber, right? Have you ever taken an Uber downtown? You're going and drinking with your friends, you're being safe, and then you try to Uber home, and it goes, oh, well, now everybody's Ubering home. It may have cost you $20 to go meet with your friends, but suddenly that ride home is $60. That's because, oh, everybody's downtown. Oh, we have to charge you 3 times as much because now there's a lot more demand. Now, this kind of stuff makes sense at times, but my fear is something like that, right? What if somebody makes a big viral video about PlayStation, I don't know, some sort of discounted game, say the original Final Fantasy VII, right? Okay, this game, maybe it costs $10. Everybody starts downloading it. PlayStation Store automatically detects this is a very profitable game, so they turn the price up to $12 or $15. It's a system that seems crazy because it does seem kind of scammy. Like, look, I get it with something like Uber or DoorDash, I guess, right? There's only so many like actual man hours to deliver people, but it sucks when it comes to something digital where they are just straight up scamming you. In fact, some people are even pointing out the evidence here, stuff like this. This guy actually pointed out, I was excited to finally purchase Red Dead Redemption. I checked it on my wife's account. My wife does not play much, so buying it on her account may not be the best decision, but this soured me about buying it quite a bit. Look at this. The game literally goes from $20 to $15. This is the $100 special edition. So you can see it's literally the same price, the same day, it's everything, but it's literally cheaper if you buy it on an account that spends less money. Now, a lot of people are like, boo, PlayStation. These companies are hell-bent on eliminating physical games to force you into buying exclusively off their online store. A lot of the replies, especially tons of the quote tweets, are all about physical media. So when the microphone of my PlayStation 5 controller hears me talking trash and Sony raises the price of everything by 15%. Look at this tweet, by the way, look at that. 2,000 likes in the first 10 minutes. People are actually mad about this. This is exactly why physical games are still a necessity. I have my own digital archive of games that won't be affected by this, but companies are absolutely going to push this more in the future. Don't kid yourself. Right now, do you know the reason that physical games get cheaper? Like the actual reason for it. And it's because of supply and demand. You know, they print, say, a couple million copies of a game. They sit around. The demand for it goes down, so the price of it goes down. You know, less people care about Red Dead Redemption, so as that fluctuation decreases, you can get it for a cheaper deal, right? Very obvious, right? So I bought this for $30 right before the next gen patch came out for Nintendo Switch 2. And digitally, this game was still $50. I got it for a lot cheaper. No, actually, you know what? I remember I got this for $25. I got it for way cheaper. And I remember that when I got it, I was super happy. And it's because it just doesn't have that same demand. It would suck if, the next gen patch comes out, they see everybody's downloading it, and dynamic pricing takes a $40 game and bumps it up to $50. It's such a scummy process. This is blatantly anti-consumer design and needs to be banned yesterday. There have been a lot of lawsuits specifically about, basically, I think it was Instacart. Instacart, they found out that it was basically scanning and seeing how broke you were. If you were just eating like rice and beans and barely alive, it was charging you less. Whereas if you were getting high quality Wagyu beef, I don't even know what expensive groceries are, it would actually make your entire cart more expensive. This has been extensively proven, even though Instacart is currently denying it. They are being sued for that, in fact. The thing is that I want to go through the evidence, but the thing about this that I think we need to keep in mind is that our brains are unfortunately still very susceptible to manipulation, right? We're not some grand supercomputers. We are still people. We are still reacting to the data that goes in. I read a lot of books about human mentality and how brains work and stuff like this, algorithms to live by, what computer science teaches us about human decisions. And it's interesting that in a lot of ways, we are so prone to basically easily being tricked. A 95% discount on something you don't even need, you're 10 times more likely to buy it. even if a game costs, $10 and they do a 90% discount and it's $1, you want to buy it, not because you want to play it that bad. It's 90% off. Oh, it's $1. And it sucks that a lot of these companies have realized that a lot of people will, if you discount it enough, even if the discount is fake, they increase the total price and decrease the output cost, people still are susceptible to that level of manipulation. Look at it. PlayStation appears to be testing personalized sales that will show discounts tailored to the user viewing them. Dynamic pricing and revenue model has been companies will switch up the cost of an item for different users. These changes are dependent on a variety of factors like purchase history, location, inventory, demand, time of day, weather, and income level. This is one of the things people have talked about. Some of the testing showed that in some areas where people were buying like a lot of microtransactions or something like that, if it was a rainy day and everybody was stuck inside, sometimes the prices would go up like 2 or 3% because they knew they could get away with it. Though controversial, dynamic pricing and surge pricing has been used in a variety of industries, from grocery stores to the housing market. The price discrepancies can be a huge wide range, or they could be minor depending on the industry. But even so, in a matter of a few cents, companies who use pricing models like this bank on the long-term benefits of screwing you over. Now look at this. A website called PlayStation Prices has been tracking the number of Sony's access to digital platforms. In an update to its research, they said they detected unusual offer structures containing experiment identifiers while monitoring the PlayStation Store's basic programming. And what's interesting is that stuff like this, right? Games, including first-party games, God of War Ragnarok and The Last of Us Part 2, the program allegedly includes 139 games, and the prices would go up or down between 5% and 18%. Notably, the test only included price decreases, not price hikes. Also, this experiment also did not occur in the United States. Okay, Sony did not immediately respond to comment, but in addition to dynamic pricing, the PlayStation Store has been found to display personalized discounts for users. One example cited by PlayStation Prices was in Helldivers 2, where the extraction shooter appeared to have two different sale prices. Some users said the game was a 25% discount, while others were treated to a 56% discount. So this to me is extra wild, because to me, it almost feels like when a game is popular, like Helldivers 2, say Helldivers 2 comes out with a giant patch and you want to buy it, all your friends are going to buy it. It would be weird if, the price goes up. I guess that's my thing more than anything else. It's not just the manipulation. It's not just that these companies are just so obsessively, endlessly greedy. I got to admit that 80% of my annoyance is just the fact that I don't like the idea that they can just literally tune a knob to rip you off. It's not even a person. It's not even a marketing team making a decision. It's literally just an algorithm saying, sorry, buddy, we discover that you can pay more, so you will pay more. I buy a lot of games full price day one to review them, to play them. I love getting platinum trophies and stuff like that. And I think it does kind of suck about the idea that in a way I'm being punished. Oh, sorry, you like buying games? Well, you're going to pay a hell of a lot more. Whereas somebody that's new to it, who's just coming to it, prices go down. I think not only should prices be universal, I'm still very much in that camp then I feel like games should get a lot cheaper, a lot faster. I feel like after 6 months, after a year, I think stuff should get significant, drastic discounts. The fact that everything feels like it's getting more and more and more expensive, there has been all that data by Michael Pachter and all the people at Cessna that like crazy low amounts, like literally 9 to 12% of all gamers are basically spending 99% of the profit on the industry. Like 99% of gamers are buying basically zero new games. And it seems like these companies are just trying to find a way to milk the people actually spending cash for any additional pennies they can rattle out. How do you feel about the idea of dynamic pricing? And how do you feel about this? I mean, this is what a lot of people in the comments are pointing out, the fact that, look, man, this is why this is why we need Xbox, right? This is why we need Xbox, because if Sony is just ruling this place by themselves, they're absolutely going to get as evil as humanly possible. Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. If you could, please give this video a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I want to do a video about the Resident Evil 1 remake as a concept. I actually replayed all of Resident Evil 1 this morning. Or I guess I'm in the last area of it, but I replayed Resident Evil 1 this morning. That game is so good. A lot of people are saying it doesn't need a remake. You know, I think it still could use one.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, you know, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.